On the morning of August 13th, 2018, police received a call from a worried friend after Shanann Watts suddenly stopped answering messages and missed an important doctor's appointment. Within hours, officers arrived at the Watts family home to investigate.
How you guys doing?
Brother?
What's that?
Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
How you been?
Hi.
You Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
All right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9. And I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking. And we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle in his work truck.
Okay. That's what I'm asking. There's not a...
She took the girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats.
At first, it appeared to be a routine welfare check. Shanann's car was still in the garage. Her phone, purse, and medication had all been left behind. But despite repeated calls and knocks at the door, there was no sign of Shanann or her 2 daughters. As officers began trying to piece together what was happening, they faced an immediate limitation. Legally, police could not simply force their way into the home without consent, a warrant, or clear evidence that someone inside was in immediate danger. At that moment, all they could do was wait for Chris Watts to arrive home. Then, just minutes later, Chris Watts arrived home, pulling up outside the house as police bodycam footage continued recording. Officers explained that Shanann's friend had become concerned after being unable to contact her, and that no one had seen Shanann or the children all morning. After a brief conversation with police and Shanann's friend, Chris opened the garage and gave officers permission to enter the home and look around for any sign of his family. At first, nothing appeared obviously out of place. The house was quiet. There were no visible signs of forced entry or struggle. But as officers moved room to room, small details quickly began raising concern. Shanann's phone had been left behind. Her purse was still inside the house. Her medication and personal belongings remained untouched. To investigators, these details immediately stood out.
Okay.
Friends insisted Shanann would never leave voluntarily without contacting someone, especially without her daughters. What had started as a welfare check was beginning to feel increasingly unsettling.
Do you know there's no way you can look for the day? During the daytime?
What? Frantic. The girls' car seats are in the car too, so she left with the friend. She would have took the car seats.
I can go look if he doesn't find her.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Huh? Chris is in the house. We're standing outside of the police office.
As officers continued searching for answers, attention quickly shifted to a nearby neighbor who had security cameras facing the Watts home. The neighbor explained that his cameras had captured activity from earlier that morning, including Chris Watts leaving for work at approximately 5:30 a.m. Investigators immediately became interested in reviewing the footage to determine whether anyone else had left the house afterward. The officer asked if the cameras had recorded anything throughout the rest of the day besides Chris leaving, hoping to see whether Shanann or the children had exited the home at any point. At the same time, another detail began raising even more concern. Inside Shanann's vehicle, the children's car seats were still installed. Nicole Atkinson pointed out that Shanann would never have left with the girls without taking the car seats. To friends and investigators alike, it made no sense. If Shanann had willingly gone somewhere with her daughters, the seats would have been gone. With each passing minute, the situation inside the Watts home was becoming harder to explain. As officers continued searching the house, another disturbing discovery was made. While checking the living room area, Chris suddenly located Shanann's phone wedged between the cushions of a couch. Even more unusual, the phone was completely powered off. For Shanann's friends, this immediately felt wrong. According to those closest to her, Shanann was constantly on her phone, especially for work and communication with her family. Leaving it behind, turned off, made little sense. Chris powered the phone back on as officers, and Nicole Atkinson continued discussing Shanann's daily routine and medical condition. Nicole explained that Shanann worked heavily through her phone and social media, making her sudden silence even more alarming. She also told officers that Shanann was diabetic and required regular medication which still appeared to be inside the home. As the conversation continued, another important detail emerged. Nicole explained that earlier, Chris had told her Shanann had taken the girls on a play date. But as investigators looked around the house, more and more details seemed to contradict that explanation. The children's car seats were still inside Shanann's vehicle. Her phone had been left behind. Her purse, medication, and personal belongings all remained inside the house. By this point, what had started as concern was rapidly turning into suspicion.
Her phone's here? Yeah. Her phone's here.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works, this is her lifeline.
So if that thing turns back on, it's gonna start blowing up.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Krista.
It was shut down?
She's in the play,
Yeah.
right? Well, it was originally under the pillow on the couch.
You know her passcode?
I don't know her passcode.
It used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
1/31/8/19. There it is. Wait for it to start to blow up.
What does she do for work?
She works a direct sales company called Drive.
How often does her blood sugar drop low?
Cassie, her friend in Arizona, said that that's the first time it's ever happened.
She normally has migraines, like a while ago, but she had them a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
Cassie's a nurse, so she figured it was because her blood pressure sugar was dropping.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't eating her normal that she normally eats. Like she'd take a couple bites and said she was full.
Okay.
And
She doesn't ever black out or have
No,
seizures or anything like
No,
that?
I mean, a long time ago. She got in a car wreck, and they believe that's what happened. But Imitrex is something she takes for migraine. She took more Imitrex this last month than she ever had before, but that's just because she was in North Carolina with the humidity and everything like that. She was there for 6 weeks, and we got back Monday or Tuesday, and then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning, and then she got back last night about 2 a.m. Flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
What do you do?
I work at oil and gas in Anadarko.
What do you do for them?
Operator.
Oh. Long days then?
Yeah, I'd definitely still be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a long day, especially in that heat. There's no like off text messages unless
Can you look at your camera to see from your security system to see when she left?
it's unless they left out the front door.
Because you told me that she went on a play date with the girls, and then
That's what she told me.
Addie said you told her that
Yeah, she went with some friends she went to go to a friend's house with the kids. That's why I knew they weren't at school.
Addie said you told her that she left in the middle of the night.
Oh no, she didn't leave in the middle of the night, no.
Yeah.
31, 19.
Where do your kids go to school at?
Primrose in Vista Ridge.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Hey. Yeah. No. Yeah, she said she was at her friend's house. That's what she told me she was going to do.
Nicholas.
I have no clue at whatsoever why she wouldn't take her cell phone. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. If she didn't leave out the front door, I can't see it. Well, yeah, I can look at that and see. But it's so random because it goes off and on here lately. It gets false trips because it told me it was open when I got here. I know it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not lost for. I don't know where she's at, where the kids are at. Hello?
I don't see her first, but she gave me.
Yeah. Only people that are out of state that she would contact would be in Arizona, be Catherine and Josh, and she's not there.
As the investigator continued searching for answers, Chris Watts and the responding officer walked next door to review security footage captured by a neighbor's surveillance camera. Inside the neighbor's home, the footage showed Chris arriving back at the house earlier that morning at approximately 5:17 a.m. Unlike his normal routine, Chris backed his truck all the way into the driveway toward the garage. The neighbor immediately pointed out how unusual this behavior was. According to him, Chris almost never parked like that. Even after the neighborhood had previously experienced thefts from vehicles, Chris still normally parked out on the street rather than backing directly into the driveway. As the footage continued playing, the tension inside the room became increasingly noticeable. While the officer and neighbor focused on the television screen, Chris could be seen pacing back and forth, swaying, placing his hands on his head, and struggling to stay still. His nervous behavior stood out sharply against the otherwise calm conversation taking place around him. The neighbor quietly observed Chris's reactions while continuing to explain what the cameras had captured. After Chris eventually stepped outside the house, the neighbor immediately turned to the officer and admitted that Chris was not acting normal. He explained that Chris was usually calm and quiet, but that morning he appeared extremely nervous and uneasy. The neighbor stated that based on Chris's behavior alone, he believed something was wrong. In just a matter of hours, the investigation was already beginning to shift from a missing persons case toward something far more disturbing.
What else can I do with this?
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. He'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Because if there was any sort of action out
On
there,
his cameras,
I would have got it.
like
Right.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that, and I had parked my truck.
I had
here.
to park right here.
Yeah. So someone,
See if
I can see
anything
where someone tried to jimmy with it.
But like, you'll see this car.
What security system do you have?
X-ray this car. You can see this car starting to drive down the street.
That one.
Oh, look.
See what I'm saying? It picked up all the way down there.
That's cool.
He's next door.
Can we go?
I was talking about dispatcher. It'll be close for.
Cause yeah, we can pick up cars coming this way. I get anything coming this way and making a turn. So, and usually at night I pick up the cars pulling a U-turn. So, unless they pulled right here,
Yeah.
but I would have caught her walking out. Diesel.
It's good.
But yeah, I thought nothing.
Nothing for the rest of the day.
No, that's it.
pregnant as well.
How far along?
15 weeks. That's why her friend said it was low blood sugar.
And see, I've got her friend leaving out here at 2 in the morning, I think. So, my camera. Did you go check if anything was missing around your house?
There wasn't nothing. It was like all the old blankies and the and then her lawyer on the nightstand. Her phone was still there.
She dropped her off at 1 in the morning, right?
My doorbell said 1:48. She came in.
Okay. It's not on this one, it'll be on this one. Because this is her friend leaving at 1:48.
So as soon as it picks up motion, it like back off. Okay. I thought you.
That was the start of the video?
Yep. That was 1:48.
In the morning.
I didn't pick her up going into the house though?
It didn't. And I usually pick him up when he comes walking through here. I pick him up. So it doesn't show her walking into the house. If she would have walked by, we would have saw him. That's mine.
Okay.
The other dogs. They see all these people coming in, they're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And you know it's still live because it's flagging
Mm-hmm. How long does it typically record for?
30 seconds, I believe, at a time. But this is at 1:48, and then the next one I have is in it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is why would he pull past this part? You can see him pull past.
Are you able to record this?
I'd have to call Comcast so I can get him to do whatever. But watch, you'll see him get out. And he walks back and forth a couple times. To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently?
Yeah. I'm guessing that's why she went and visited people, is because she wanted to get away from the situation.
Do you have your ID handy?
Yeah.
he's nice.
He's not acting.
He knew once he figured out the detective like the question a lot, we're not going to
I just don't understand that he keeps explaining himself over and over where he's getting exactly what he's doing exactly, because that's not him. He's usually really quiet.
Well, if you look, that's the back of his truck. That's that. He has right here. He had a flat time out.
Yeah.
He took the flat time out and I was able to crack.
Well, that was always back there.
Well, yeah, but this is just weird because now I've got.
What's your phone number?
85. It just seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull the truck up into the garage?
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen him pull back.
I've never seen him. If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox and a book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage.
Yeah.
And he knows my camera's there.
Any other neighbors have cameras around here, you know?
I'm sure a bunch of them do, but not that I know of.
Okay.
You guys looking out.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
I'll do a search here in a minute.
All these boards kept coming up missing, so we moved in here, I put this in. And like he said, someone was breaking into it. He said that someone was breaking into his toolboxes of his truck. So I told him he could park his truck out there in case they saw something. Diesel, I know you want to go play with the baby so bad.
Her mom was texted me that we were in the store. She doesn't have an GPS tracker. Truck that goes everywhere he goes.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Don't you think it's, look at those.
I know. I'm
Kinda
trying
odd.
not to.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. The cutoff, the truck's in the garage right now. And he never backs his truck into the
That's
driveway.
what her
ever.
friend Christina that said it.
Diesel.
She's like, he never backs his truck up. Her mom said it too. She's like, he carries his stuff out in the house. He
Yep.
doesn't back his truck up.
Well, I have him on camera doing that when he does it. Because when he was parking his truck over here, the other thing was odd is while she was gone, he kept parking his truck and her car over here. And I used to see him walk out of his house right
He
here.
took the car out of the garage?
Oh, the car was parked over there for a long time, like a couple days.
This past weekend?
No.
It was when she was gone for the 6 weeks.
Oh.
But I thought it was kind of odd that he never parked in front of here or right here. He said someone broke into his truck and he parked over here. I have no idea. Hey, he's acting so suspicious. He's normally, you can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did, what he did, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
Yeah, but I mean, put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
You know, anyone's gonna be nervous. You don't know what to do.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying the way he told you 3 times what he brought with him, why is he telling you exactly what he brought with him instead of saying, oh, they didn't see anybody out here, he didn't see anybody doing anything? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he so worried about you knowing what he's carrying out? That's all I'm saying.
The detective's talking to him.
What's that?
Your detective's talking to him.
He's talking to him right now? Okay.
Later that afternoon, at approximately 4:36 p.m., investigators returned to the Watts family home with a search warrant, allowing them to conduct a more detailed examination of the property. By this point, concern for Shanann and the children had escalated significantly. Detectives began carefully documenting the home, searching for any evidence that could explain where the family had gone. Despite the growing suspicion surrounding the case, investigators initially found very little inside the house that pointed clearly toward violence or a struggle. The home itself appeared unusually clean and orderly. There were no obvious signs of forced entry, No visible blood, and no major indications that a violent crime had taken place inside the residence. However, several details continued troubling investigators. Shanann's phone, purse, medication, and personal belongings had all been left behind. The children's car seats were still installed in Shanann's vehicle inside the garage. To detectives, it made little sense that a mother would voluntarily leave without these items, especially with her young daughters. Investigators also began collecting digital evidence, surveillance footage, and information from Chris Watts' phone, vehicle, and movements earlier that morning. Although the search warrant did not immediately uncover a clear crime scene, the growing number of inconsistencies surrounding Chris's story continued drawing the attention of investigators. Behind the quiet suburban appearance of the Watts home, detectives were beginning to suspect something far darker had happened.
So you're the homeowner, right? You guys aren't renters?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a consent to search form. This is the date and time and your location, which is your address. This is my name. I request permission to search this house in its entirety for missing persons. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign this, and then I need you to read the bottom of it and make sure you understand that. Before you sign it, ask me any questions if you don't understand it.
Okay.
I'll need you to print your name there. So when I list my name on here, it includes my buddies that are with me. Are you good with that?
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. So I just need you to print your name there. There's my name. Just read this bottom and make sure you understand that. Before you sign it, ask me any questions if you have any, okay?
Or 13th?
Today's the 13th. Looking for the time?
4:15, 36.
4:36.
Here.
Yep. You have any questions? Okay. I appreciate it.
After hours of searching the Watts family home and gathering evidence, investigators eventually left the property late on the evening of August 13th. Despite growing concern surrounding Shanann and the children's disappearance, police still had very few answers. No obvious signs of violence had been discovered inside the home, and Chris Watts continued insisting he had no idea where his family had gone. The following day, August 14th, Chris appeared in front of television cameras outside the family home for a public interview. Speaking directly to the media, Chris claimed that Shanann and the girls had simply vanished. He pleaded for their return, stating that if someone had them, he just wanted them to come home safely. But as the interview continued, many viewers began noticing something unsettling about Chris's behavior. When asked about his relationship with his daughters and how much he missed them, Chris could be seen smiling while speaking. The expression appeared strange and out of place given the circumstances surrounding his missing family. During the interview, reporters also asked whether he and Shanann had argued before her disappearance. Chris admitted the two had shared what he described as an emotional conversation, but refused to elaborate further, stating only that he wanted to leave it at that. To investigators and eventually the public, the interview would later become one of the most disturbing moments in the entire case.
Chris Watts, WATTS.
What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came out. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here. And like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me, but she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well. And that's what really concerned a lot of people, is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nope, nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, Shanann.
What's your kids' name?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4. Bella's 4. Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times, just to say, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back. Like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered. Like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions. Your relationship with your kids.
Yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And this, like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I missed them. Like, I mean, I missed telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, and just like you're not going to get your snack after. I miss that. Like I miss them, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night, and for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. And I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on. And know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was that's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I want everybody to just come home. Like wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Where was she gone for? She was on. She came back Sunday. You said that to you at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of like other storms around the nation. So she's supposed to get home like 11. She got home at like 1:48. She got in bed about 2.
What was she going for? Like family trip or?
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
And that day she was back. I mean,
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30. So like she barely gotten into bed pretty much.
And this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like somebody has to come forward.
You spoken to her family, like her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. I mean, everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. I mean, from Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you? Like,
they're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know. Because I mean, they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is. I mean, you can't just drive around and look. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day, I was like, I want to get out and drive around. They said, you wouldn't know what to look for.
Last couple questions. What is law enforcement? What have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors? Is anybody? What's police saying to you?
Right now, this is what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far because yesterday the Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, I mean, obviously with all the activity that's around, it's there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors? Did they see anything? Did your neighbors see anything?
No, like the police department went door to door asking, like, cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And my last question, if you have any though, so feel free to step in. My last question is, if your wife can see this, if she can watch these, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
That's it. I can take that mic off you.
Later that same day, Chris Watts voluntarily arrived at the police station for further questioning as investigators continued searching for answers in the disappearance of Shanann and the children. As part of the investigation, Chris agreed to undergo a polygraph examination administered by investigators. During the test, detectives asked Chris a series of direct questions surrounding the whereabouts of his family and whether he had played any role in their disappearance. Throughout the examination, Chris attempted to remain calm and cooperative, insisting repeatedly that he had nothing to do with Shanann and the girls vanishing. But once the polygraph was completed, investigators informed Chris that he had failed the test. According to detectives, the results indicated clear signs of deception when Chris answered questions about his family's disappearance. The atmosphere inside the interview room immediately changed. What had begun as a missing persons investigation was now rapidly shifting toward Chris Watts himself, becoming the primary focus of the case. For investigators, the pressure was beginning to close in.
We have discussed.
Yes.
Breathe normal. Regarding Shanann's disappearance, do you intend to answer all of the questions truthfully?
Yes.
Were you born in 1985?
Yes.
Before 2018, did you ever say anything out of anger to a loved one?
Yes. No.
Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
Are you now in the state of Colorado?
Yes.
Before 2018, have you ever wanted to hurt someone to get even with them?
No.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
Is your first name Christopher?
Yes.
Before 2018, did you ever lose your temper with someone you cared about?
No.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
Portion of the test is complete. Please remain still while I take the instrument out of operation. All right, how'd you feel? Same?
After completing the polygraph examination, FBI agent Tammy Lee left the interview room, leaving Chris Watts sitting alone as investigators reviewed the results. For several long minutes, Chris waited in silence. Then Agent Lee returned to the room alongside another investigator. The tone of the conversation had now completely changed. Investigators informed Chris that he had failed the polygraph test. According to the results, there were significant signs of deception in his answers regarding Shanann and the children's disappearance. Chris appeared visibly uncomfortable as investigators began pressing harder on the inconsistencies in his story. The questions became more direct. What happened to Shanann? Where were the girls? Why wasn't his version of events matching the evidence investigators were now gathering? As the pressure inside the interrogation room intensified, investigators made it increasingly clear that they no longer believed Chris was telling the truth.
So, it was completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just
I'm-
stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
After more than half an hour of intense questioning, investigators continued confronting Chris Watts with the growing inconsistencies in his story. By this point, the pressure inside the interrogation room had become overwhelming. Chris appeared increasingly anxious and emotionally drained as detectives repeatedly challenged his version of events and urged him to finally tell the truth about what had happened to Shanann and the children. Eventually, Chris asked if he could speak with his father. Investigators agreed and temporarily left the room, allowing Chris's father to enter alone. What followed would become one of the most critical moments in the entire investigation. During the conversation with his father, Chris finally began to confess. At first, Chris claimed that after an emotional argument, Shanann had harmed the children, and that in a rage, he had then killed Shanann. It was the first time Chris admitted responsibility for any part of the crimes. Although investigators would later uncover that this version of events was false, the confession marked the moment the missing persons case officially transformed into a murder investigation.
What happened after that? I ran all the way downstairs and I don't want to protect her. What? I don't want to protect her. You don't want to protect her? I don't know what else to say. What happened? Huh? She hurt him? Yeah. And then I freaked out. What now? I freaked out and I hurt her. You hurt her? Did they leave after that for a long time? So she started hurting the kids. Paper. Talk to you guys, what happened? What? She smelled it. Or choking. No. I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about like she lost it. I don't know like what else to say, like I freaked out. Those are my kids. So she, it's not that one time, you were leaving the place and going to work. And she freaked out over the separation and everything. Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was never, I could see like, she was on top of the What, choking her or? Did she kill her? They're blue. Both of them? Yeah. She choked both of them to death. I freaked out at the same thing. I don't want to say it though. No, I couldn't like call cops about it. So what did you do? All the bodies off or something? I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I freaked out. I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to do. So she killed Lucy C. and Bell, choked them to death. You lost it and choke her or? Mm-hmm. No, that's just rage. I hadn't. about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. I think she just lost it.
That's when she went off and you told her about it.
And that's when the crying like happened and I didn't tell her how long, she just knew. She just knew. I could deny all I want, she just knew.
Saying that she killed both of them over, was it the separation or the affair?
I think she just knew, like, the affair was happening, but I just denied it.
What you told her before, on that about separation?
But, you know, she was hoping we'd go to counseling or something. I didn't like my counseling.
She lost it. In another separation. Did she break up the affair that morning too?
After confessing to his father, investigators re-entered the interrogation room and asked Chris Watts to repeat his story directly to them. This time, detectives carefully listened as Chris described what he claimed had happened inside the house on the morning of August 13th. As the interview continued, investigators moved to the most important question of all. Where were Shanann and the children? Eventually, Chris revealed the location of the bodies. He told investigators they could be found at an oil site owned by Anadarko Petroleum, where he had been working earlier that morning. Armed with the information Chris provided, investigators immediately began organizing a search of the remote work site. What they would discover there would shock the entire country.
In these? So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Shanann was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably flew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here with that.
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
It's got a shovel in my truck. It's always have.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann touched?
Shirt and underwear.
Is that what she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
I think her shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put them in the truck? Are we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
No, like from when you got her in the bed to when you put them in the truck. How long a time was that?
So like from when put Shanann in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Are you talking about covering her up or something?
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't going to be in there as well?
Not because it was right here with that sheet.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just gonna write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything, just under her? Okay. Do you remember what they look like?
Blue.
Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Following the discovery of Shanann and the children at the remote oil site, investigators moved quickly to take Chris Watts into custody. After days of denying any involvement in his family's disappearance, the investigation had now uncovered the horrifying truth. Chris Watts was formally arrested, placed in handcuffs, and transported to jail as the missing persons case officially became one of the most shocking family murder cases in recent American history. News of the discovery spread rapidly across the country, leaving the public stunned by the brutal reality hidden behind what had once appeared to be an ordinary suburban family.
Okay, turn around and face me. No earrings, necklaces, anything like that? Okay. Let's walk out this way.
Following his arrest, Chris Watts was formally charged with the murders of his pregnant wife, Shanann Watts, and their 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste. As the investigation continued, prosecutors prepared to pursue one of the most serious criminal cases in Colorado history, with the possibility of the death penalty being considered. However, the case would never go to a full trial. On November 6, 2018, Chris Watts appeared in court and pleaded guilty to all charges against him, admitting responsibility for the murders of his entire family. By accepting the plea deal, Chris avoided a lengthy jury trial and the possibility of receiving the death penalty. Just weeks later, on November 19, 2018, Chris Watts returned to court for sentencing. The judge sentenced him to multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring he would spend the rest of his life in prison. During the sentencing hearing, emotional statements from Shanann's family described the devastating impact the murders had left behind. What had begun as a missing persons case in a quiet suburban neighborhood had ultimately ended as one of the most disturbing family murder cases in modern American history.
Your client?
Your Honor, Ms. Harold.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Harold.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Watts has asked us to share this morning that he is devastated by all of this. And although he understands that words are hollow at this point, he is sincerely sorry for all of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, as I indicated when we began, you have the right to make a statement if you choose to. Would you like to make a statement?
No, sir.
Thank you. So the court has considered the arguments made by the attorneys. The court has considered the statements made by the victims in this case. The court's going to find that the plea agreement is fair and reasonable under the circumstances. I want to acknowledge the Rusick family as well as the Watts family that showing mercy on Mr. Watts is understood, and I respect that decision to request that the district attorney not seek the death penalty in this case. And so the court is going to accept this plea bargain under the circumstances. Words that come to mind when I hear the evidence in this case are a senseless crime and the viciousness of the crime. And equally aggravating in this court's determination is the despicable act of disposing of the bodies in the manner in which they were done in this case. I've been a judicial officer now for starting my 17th year, and I could objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate, and anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. So the court is going to sentence Mr. Watts as follows. With regard to count number 1, murder in the first degree as it relates to Shanann Watts, the court is going to sentence you, sir, to a life sentence in the Colorado Department of Corrections
followed, with no possibility of parole. And that is going to run consecutively to all but counts 3 and 4. With regard to count 2, as it relates to murder in the first degree with Bella, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole. With regard to count number 3, the court is going to sentence you as it relates to Celeste to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole. With regard to counts 4 and 5 relating to Bella and Celeste as a different theory of first-degree murder, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and legally those sentences must run concurrently as a different theory of first-degree murder. Recognizing the unlawful termination of pregnancy for the unborn child that has been named Nico, the court absolutely believes that the maximum sentence of 48 years would be appropriate to run consecutive to the other charges, with an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years as set forth by statute. With regard to count number 7, as it relates to tampering with a deceased body, as well as counts 8 and 9, each a class 3 felony, the court is going to impose a maximum sentence of 12 years each for those counts to run consecutively to the other counts. The court is going to order that the statutory fees be paid and court costs. The court's going to grant the prosecution 91 days to file a notice of restitution, and that will be the sentence of the court.
With the sentencing complete, the case of Chris Watts officially came to an end inside the courtroom. But for Shanann's family, friends, and everyone affected by the tragedy, the loss would last forever. This case remains one of the most disturbing examples of how violence can hide behind the appearance of an ordinary family life. Our thoughts and condolences go out to the family and loved ones of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico. Thank you for watching.